Good evening, gardening friends, and welcome to episode 2. It's still January 1st. I didn't know how much I was going to get done today. For those of you that don't know, I manage an apartment building, so sometimes I don't quite get to things on the schedule that I plan. Today is one of those examples, but here we are. It's about 4:30. I topped off the soil in the medium-sized planter. If you're interested, you can see information about this from last season when I built it. I'll put a link right here. And so what I'm going to do is I've got, over the sort of intervening months when I didn't have any episodes, one of the things I did was I was playing with the sort of an incubator project, which is essentially means I had some plants on the windowsill inside the apartment where it doesn't get quite as cold and they have a chance to start, and I was testing germination. So these are melon seeds, and I'm going to have to go back to the video I shot but didn't release to figure out whether these are let's see, honeydew or cantaloupe or canary melon. So I got one set of seeds here in that other pot there, and then I got another set of seeds way over here which are growing nicely, and so I'm going to plant 3 or 4 of those of each into this medium planter here, and we'll see which ones take. Considering my battle with bugs last year, it makes sense to put in more than normal, because the bugs come along and decide to, especially the grasshoppers, they seem to have this tendency to just chop them off right at the base of the plant. Not just chopping off a branch somewhere that, you know, may have come up this high or something, but they'll chop them off right at the base of the plant, and months worth of growth will be completely nullified. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and plant those, and we'll see how much further I get today. Okay folks, it's around sunset, and I just wanted to give you a shot of the clouds in the sky and an update. So here's my medium-sized planter. I ended up putting 5 of each. I know that's going to overcrowd fairly quickly if they all take, but I figure more is better in this case, since I have had my battle with the bugs. I do have some solutions, so we'll see what happens this year. It's still too cold. Actually, if I'm really lucky, what happened with the grasshoppers is it got cold, killed them all off, or they all moved on to greener pastures or less green pastures, or wherever they are it's probably less green. Anyway, that's the medium size. And then up in the big planter, which is separated into 8 spaces, I used to have a tomato plant over in this corner, and a couple of things. One, it was actually a really old plant and it just kept growing and growing and growing, but then in the real tail end of the summer when it got really hot, this thing pretty much killed it. I think that's probably what it was, just the sheer amount of heat coming off of this thing to cool my apartment. So I've decided to move. I bought a new plant. We've got an early girl, and we'll see what happens with this one. It's looking pretty healthy right now. I just transplanted it, so we'll have to watch for shock, but we'll keep her watered and we'll see what happens with this one. Hopefully this year it's far enough over from everything else that it's not going to get killed by the air conditioner. Anyway, that's it for the moment. And another shot of the sky. Hopefully this one will be a little bit more steady. I really should pull out the tripod again. Alright folks, I don't know how well you can see this. It's a little bit later, and I was transplanting my Swiss chard that I just got. I've never actually tried Swiss chard. Very colorful, but I just wanted to show you that the roots themselves are actually colored. I don't think I've seen that on any other plant. So this is going to be a fun plant to grow and see how colorful it gets and see what it tastes like, because I never actually, well, if I've eaten it before, it may have been mixed in a salad and I just didn't know what it was, but I've heard a bunch about it on various gardening channels, and I'm really looking forward to it. So here we go. Alright, so I think this is probably the last thing I'll shoot for today, since the sun is almost completely down. Well, you can see that, and the lights have actually turned on. Still gotta pull them down. I don't want to be the guy that leaves up his Christmas lights until June. Anyway, so the Swiss chard's been transplanted, so that's good. I've got a little label back there. I've got the Brussels sprouts, which are not looking quite so wonderful. It's sitting right next to it. I'll cut back some of the Swiss chard, and I may have to train all of these. These containers may actually be too small, even though they fit about 2 gallons of soil. So I may end up moving them up over to the larger one there on the end. But we've got broccoli here, and we've got butter crunch lettuce here. which has just sort of been hanging on for the last month or so. If I move back over here, you can see the ones that didn't quite make it. So in memoriam here, what do we got? We've got Brussels sprouts. I guess that's probably too blurry for you. And we've got an ace tomato that didn't take, or actually it looked like it got chopped off by our friends the grasshoppers. Nothing much else food-wise. We had the strawberry that lived for so long. Looks like it's, well, you know what, there's some green down there. Maybe if I cut this open a bit, maybe if I raise the soil level a little higher, it'll do a little better. I need to look that up and see if they want more shade or more sun or what. And nothing else. So really, I mean, all of the lighter colored boxes here are the food containers because they're made out of cedar, and I don't worry about the cedar leaching into the food. Over here we've got, these boards were made with some stain. Now I've also got these up from last year's stuff, so I'll put a link to, oh, ignore that wire. That's going away soon. But the reddish colored ones are actually, they're the same design, it's just a different board, and it has some stain on it, and I didn't know the properties of the stain. So these are just going to be flowers, the red ones, and the lighter ones will be for food. So a lot of work to do here. But, oh, I will also point out that in doing the Swiss chard one, what I did was I took all the soil out of here, emptied it into a 5-gallon bucket, and filled it to about 2 gallons worth. So these are deceptively large, but emptied it all out, loosened it up, and then dropped it back in. And where the soil level was down a couple inches from the top when I started, I didn't add any soil in. It's all the way back up to the top now. So that tells you a little something about soil compacting itself. But I always try to turn the soil when I do new plants. So that's it for tonight. We'll pick this up hopefully sometime tomorrow if nothing else happens around here.